Hi, readers. Happy Thursday. So here we are. We are finishing Crash today. That's right. We are reading the last few chapters. Take a look at who is also here. Miss Madison is joining, just like we promised from Tuesday. We are both here to finish up the book with you. So let's get started.
Oh, it's me.
Okay, so we're going to be reading chapters 46, 47, 48, and 49. These are the last four chapters of the book. So make sure that you are listening to these chapters first, and then you're going to click onto the next slide and talk about our lesson that we have with us. So we're going to be reflecting on the book, right? So that's what good readers do. Good readers always engage in discussions and reflect on what they have read. Think about all the books that we've read together in school, right? We've always talked about, what we thought at the end. So that's exactly what we're doing today. All right, so these are some reflection questions. So Ms. Madison, did you enjoy this story?
I did enjoy this story. I thought it was really fun to read a story by an author that I knew because it gave me the opportunity to think, what was similar about this story and Jerry Spinelli's other story. And I also liked that it was something that I feel that a lot of our students can relate to. And I enjoyed it because I thought that I loved seeing a character grow and change. I always love a good cliche like that. And I just thought it was really enjoyable. I thought it was fun. And who doesn't love hearing a story being read to them? It's always a good time. What about you, Mrs. Visconti?
I agree. I did like this story, and I do really like, again, how it was also written by Jerry Spinelli. And I like how you could really see Jerry Spinelli's writing style. Like what we saw in Maniac McGee, you saw kind of hints of it in this book too. So that kind of took me back to that because, I like Maniac McGee. That's a good one.
Visconti, what was your favorite part of the story?
My favorite part of the story, I think I really liked Abby. I really liked how Abby was kind of weird, but in a really cute way when she was measuring the yard with the ruler, right? And then how she was she set up the little dollhouse for the mouse. I liked her parts. I thought she was really cute and really weird though.
She was adorable. I loved her.
Yeah.
So I'm actually really excited to share with you guys my favorite part. I'm sure this is almost a lot of people's favorite part. At the end at their track and field practice, when Penn and Crash were in a race to see who got that fourth and final spot for the Penn relays. And, Crash and Penn are nose to nose in the final stretch. And Crash tells him, lean in. And, for me, that just really symbolized. And because of that, Penn won and Penn went to the Penn relays. And for me, that just symbolized so much growth, so much change. He was feeling compassion and empathy for him. I just thought that part was so emotional and special. And that was I just got the chills. It was such a wonderful part of the story.
Miss Madison, I was shocked in the very last chapter when they had said that Penn and Crash are best friends. Were you surprised by that?
I was shocked. Of course, we knew that Crash changed. We knew he changed as a character. We knew he grew, but
right.
I did not expect them to become best friends. Did you?
No, I didn't. I was very surprised when I read that. I was like, what? They're best friends now?
And the last sentence too wasn't even they're best friends because it's just,
Right. Which I mean is great. And I think that kind of leads me to how I'm feeling about this last question. What would I change about the story? So I think that what I would change is because Jerry Spinelli decides to have them be best friends at the end of the story, I think I would have liked to have seen maybe a little bit more build up to them becoming best friends. I feel like the majority of the story, Crash was just picking on Penn and just kind of maybe avoiding him. So I think I would have liked to have seen them interact more in more positive ways, kind of, so it wasn't such a shock at the end that they became best friends.
That's a great point. I would have liked to
that way.
I 100% felt like I needed more information on that. I almost felt like there should have been another chapter. There was a chapter almost.
Yeah.
But one thing I really wanted to know more about that I felt I didn't hear enough about was Abby and her protest. Like I would have loved to like maybe a little bit more about that at the end of the story. Like, don't you feel like they kind of mentioned it and then it just fizzled off?
Right, right. And I think that they just went ahead and they built the mall, right? And then nothing really came of it. I think Abby just got in trouble with her mom, right? And you're right, they just sort of ended it. And Abby definitely seems very seems like a little spitfire, right? Like she really like, I can imagine her, doing another protest or I agree. I think that her story could have kept going in
Absolutely.
terms of that.
You're right. I really did love her as a character. She was just so cute.
So
And I
cute.
love that she was like passionate and powerful and not afraid of what anybody thought of her.
Yes, yes.
She's just awesome.
Sassy. I love it.
Oh, great. So boys and girls, Mrs. Visconti and I have challenged each other. We've each come prepared with one discussion question to ask the other one. And so we have a little challenge. I'm going to ask her one big question, and she's going to ask me one big question. So I think mine is up first. Ooh, okay. So, Mrs. Visconti, what was Crash's turning point, and what caused his change as a character?
Oh boy. So Crash's turning point was definitely when Scooter had his stroke. We definitely saw Crash before that point, really being like the jock and winning and picking on Penn and just being all about himself, right? But then Scooter had his stroke and was in the hospital for a while. And then we really saw Crash kind of become a little bit more down to earth, right? He was being nicer to Abby. He definitely was very concerned. He hated not having Scooter in the house. He opened up to, when his mom started working part-time, I think, had like a better relationship with her. I think that, that was definitely his turning point. And remember, readers, there's always typically a turning point with characters in the story, right? Think of like Maniac McGee too, and his turning point, right? Suddenly he could see, right? So he wasn't so literal anymore. He was able to really understand like what was happening around him.
Mm-hmm.
Good question, Miss Madison.
Oh, thank you. I actually just want to piggyback on that. I also feel like you touched on this, how Crash's situation with his grandfather and Scooter having his stroke really caused him, I think, to feel more empathy for others. And because of the situation that he went through and his life experiences, he was, feeling like I could be a better person. Like there's more to life than picking on Penn Webb.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love that. And that's really the case with lots of things, right? Sometimes you just need something big to happen, right? And then you kind of realize, you make better decisions and better choices.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, Miss Madison, this is my question for you. What was the theme of this story? What lesson do you think Jerry Spinelli was trying to get across?
Okay. This is a great question because I think this story is jam-packed with so many themes. So when I say it's jam-packed with so many themes, I mean a reader can learn so many lessons that could be applied to so many people's lives. The first thing that comes to mind when I hear this is this is my thought process of working through a theme. I know that Crash really changed as a character. And I know that Penn Webb gave Crash a second chance to be his friend because they became best friends at the end. So I'm going to go out and say here that I think it's worth it to give people a second chance sometimes because they can change. So Penn Webb gave Crash a second chance because he changed. And if he didn't give him a second chance, he would have never learned that deep down inside, Crash is a good person. What are you thinking, Mrs. Visconti?
I agree. I absolutely agree. I think that, sometimes you really just can't judge someone, right, from what you see initially. And I like that you mentioned giving like second chances, right? Because that's something that happens in real life too. And it's definitely, you give people second chances because of a lesson that was learned or something that had happened, right? That person grew as a person. And, I completely agree.
I also think there could be some sort of theme at the end when Crash decided, I think it's like chapter 48, when Crash decided to let Penn win in the final stretch of their race. I'm sure we could come up with some sort of lesson or theme from that event as well. But yeah, the story is jam-packed with so many themes. I guarantee you, if we asked every single one of our students to come up with a theme, we might have 42 different but all applicable themes.
Absolutely. I agree. We have the best readers here in 5th grade.
We do. They're the best, who we love so much.
And we miss them.
All right, Mrs. Visconti, any final thoughts on our book?
I think that, I enjoyed this book. Readers, I hope that you enjoyed this too. I hope that you enjoyed our mini lessons and our videos. Miss Madison, if you wouldn't mind just going to the next page for me, the next slide.
Of course.
Thank you. Oh, the next one.
The next.
Okay, so readers, we want to know what you know, okay? And we want to hear from you. So you're going to click, click for your final form, your final Crash Google form for this year. And on this form, we're asking you to rate the book. How many stars would you give it, 1 through 5? And then what did you think of the book? Kind of like what Miss Madison and I just did. We just discussed our thinking. So tell us what you think about the book. All right.
All right, readers. We had so much fun with you guys today. Just remember, this is the way that Mrs. Visconti and I talked about this book is a way that you can call up a friend and talk about Crash just like we did. After you read, it's one of the most fun things, in my opinion, is sitting down with a friend or a classmate and just saying, so what did you think? That's truly the best part of reading. So I hope we encouraged you to do so on your own time.
I love that, Miss Madison. All right, readers, so get to it. We will see you soon.
All right. Goodbye, readers.
Bye.